Hi there. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine, and I have a little what's on my desk today. I'm still working on the Talisman. I'm working on this beautiful book, and it's going to be mostly a write-in journal, mostly for someone who likes lots of journaling space. But of course, I'm going to include lots of journaling cards in it, so that those are sort of movable and removable, so the new owner can have a little bit of flexibility in what they want to do. So I wanted to do a bit of work on and include the front page, because I think that's really pretty. The red ink and the color, the natural patina of this paper. Now I'm holding it very carefully because this paper is so old, and it cracks. It'll just crack and break. So we are going to use it, but the only way we can use it is by adhering it to something else that's stronger. So that's what we're going to do today. So what I want to do is I have a school card, multiplication and division card. So on one side of it, I have already gone ahead and adhered some tea-dyed paper. This was tracing paper, so that's why it's nice and thin, and you can still see that this was a vintage multiplication card. And what I did was I tore the edge. This is just my homemade tear edge ruler, following along Nancy's example, and finding a clear plastic ruler really makes it nice and easy to see through the paper so that you can see where you're tearing. I love this. You can get these at the dollar store, at thrift stores, and then just use some pliers and just chip away at the edge, and you make yourself a tear edge ruler for 25 cents instead of $15. Bonus. Anyhow, so tea-dyed tracing paper. I tore the edge. I used my trusty gathered twigs to just make that edge look a little burnt. I want it. Now this is the side I want to have a little bit of fun with and play with. Let me get these things out of the way here. There we go. And we're going to do a bit of decoupage. Now, I don't know. I wanted to use this. Oh, maybe I could use it on the other side. I could put that on this side. That would look lovely. All right, I was just going to chuck the idea of that, but we're going to hang on to it. All right, so let's get started here. Scotch tape, Scotch tape. I should have been ready. I've got my timer set over there for 30 minutes so that I don't get cut off. There we go. There's one. Did we get both layers at once? I always wonder if we get both layers at once. What I'm doing is removing usually good quality paper napkins are 3-ply. Yep, there we go. That's 3-ply. And the fastest way to get it off is to just make a loop of Scotch tape. And that'll get you down to the color part that you like. There we go. There we go. These are pretty. Look at the maps on this napkin. Love it. I still may use, this is nice and thin. This can be used in a similar way. I wouldn't try to tea dye this. It would dissolve. But you could still use it if you wanted to soften something that looks harsh the way I softened this. So if you didn't mind it being absolutely white, you'll get the same effect. Or make use of it. I'll throw it in my paper shredder and use it to pack books to ship, or take it back downstairs to your kitchen and use it to help clean. Lots of things you can do. All right, I just want one of these. So let's just take you. That still leaves me 3 to use another time. There we go. Now this is going to be easy in that I want to completely cover the entire front, and I just barely have enough room. And I want it centered, so I'm going to want it there so that we have the best parts of getting all these different illustrations included. So let me get something to use as a glue base. Come on, there we go. I knew I had some here. I'm not using Mod Podge. I want this to stay as smooth as possible, and your best way of doing that is glue stick. I learned that. There was 2 people, I swear, in 1 week that got me onto this. My beloved Wishes and Weeds, Nancy, does it this way. And also Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. She doesn't use Mod Podge when she glues down napkins. She just uses glue stick. And sure enough, it does a nice job, and your card won't get all woofly the way it will with Mod Podge. Now this is where I've got to be a little precise because I don't have a lot of wiggle room. Okay. I hope my head's not in the way, but I can't move right now. There. There we go. There we go. So yeah, so Barbara and Nancy were like brainstorming at the same time, and I thought, oh my goodness, that looks like it works. And I tried it. This was a while ago, and sure enough, I never looked back. Mod Podge is good for a multitude of things, but sometimes, oh, what have I done? Are you okay? Tell me you're okay. No, you're okay. Good. Mod Podge is wonderful, but when you have something that you want to stay smooth, because I want to be able to write on this, glue stick is nice. Now, I didn't use glue stick underneath this. I used aerosol glue under that because tracing paper is so thin. Now, here I am. I keep changing all my rules. You get the hang of it. Yes, serviette or napkin, whatever you call them. That gets interchanged up where I live. We call these serviettes. We also call them napkins, paper napkins. Yes, this is very thin, very fragile, but because there's a pattern here, I'm not too worried about it. It doesn't have to be pristine, whereas I want that to be nice and smooth, and because the only pattern on it is a splash of tea. Do you see what I mean? I hope that makes sense. I'm still making sure. This is still a little bit wet. The aerosol glue that I use, they claim that if you plop it down within 15 seconds, it will be permanent. So, all right, now I just want to trim this off. I'm still on page. Let me make sure I'm still in. I am in the camber angle. Boy, the last few videos I've done, I must apologize because I've done most of my work way down over here. But you know what? I'm not a movie maker. And still catching up on all the videos that I missed while I was away last week. It's lovely. There's so many I apologize, I haven't been commenting, but I definitely click on the like, you guys. I always like your videos, and I genuinely do. That's still not quite close enough. Come on, let go. So right now I've only got 2 junk journals on the go. I have this one, and I have a keepsake journal that I've been working on the side. But my mind is always going, and I must say I'm craving making another, homemaker's kind of one and fill it with 1940s magazine advertising. I love those. There we go. All right, now I'm starting to run out of daylight. My window's up there. I think I want to be able to incorporate, I don't think I'm going to keep 8 colored illustrations, but I definitely want the title, and I like this. And that will at least, usually I like to incorporate the year that it was published, but this book didn't have one. The only thing I can go on is my Google research, and as I said, I just get a ballpark few years for this book. This style of cover was very popular from the 1890s right through till about the 1920s. So I've got about a 30-year window. So I would dare say, I would dare say at its youngest, it's probably 100 years old, maybe even give it to 90, but most likely it is older than that, with these pretty kind of covers. Now I'm going to use my metal tear edge ruler as opposed to my nifty plastic one, which I love, only because this edge is a little bit sharper and I want to get a firm break, because this is going to try and crack on me, and I don't want it to crack where I don't want it to crack. So, and this is where these, when you don't have a clear ruler, it's tricky because you can't see through the other side. See how that's full? You know what I mean. I can't tell. All I can do is guess. All I can do is guess and hope. All right, everyone, hold your breath, because it's going to want to try and crack. There, tried there. Oh, you little stinker. It tried to crack right there. Boy, oh boy. Come on, behave. Cooperate, thank you. Good. See what I mean? Watch this. It just cracks. It's old and persnickety. And if I was that age, I would be persnickety too. There, that's cute. I like that. Put you aside. Now, let's do the front. So we haven't seen our coyote since that crazy morning where he was wandering the streets looking for love and scared the daylights out of our neighbor. Now this type does not look even with that edge, so I'm actually going to use my ruler and follow the print rather than following that edge. Yeah, I think that was a little bit off. That's okay. Yeah, so no more coyote for now, thank goodness, because that makes me nervous. When you have a 14-pound dog, she might as well have hors d'oeuvre written on her, I always say. She's so tiny. There's something about a big dog that you feel a little bit more confident that they could at least put up a fight. But a little dog, they're so vulnerable. There we go. All right. There you go, Sir Walter Scott. Now I'm not going to write that off yet. All right, so here is our card. Oh, that's a little wide. I got to bring that in a bit. That's wider than I thought. I'm going to have to think about this. I guess I could bring it in a bit more. Put it down here. Yeah. All right, wish me luck. Now here's how I do it when I want to get as close as I possibly can with paper that wants to crack. So I hold my breath and then I literally break it against the ruler and it crumbles. Oh, very good. Okay. So I try and remember where that T is. See what I mean? You can't see. There's the edge of the T, so I know I've got to go in a bit more. Does that make sense? And then make sure that it hasn't moved while you're trying to grab it with your dominant hand. And then just, it crumbles off because it's old and cranky. And I don't blame it. Now look at that. That one little one bugs me. So I'll use you as an extension. There we go. That's better. Okay. Much better. But now I think the top and bottom. I know. Catherine, just leave it alone. I should. I guess I should use my bone folder for this, but I've got this in my hand now. So I'm just going to make do. Come on, off you come. It's just such a tiny amount of paper. Fortunately, the crumbling seems to be working to my advantage. Oh. Yeah. There. You know, I have to laugh when we go to all this fuss for one little journaling card. But I guess it's just the passion, right? The call of what we enjoy doing, because I couldn't not do it. I want to bring that little corner in just a tiny smidge. There. All right, I like that. Now comes the terrifying. I want to ink that edge on this old paper. And the reason I want to ink it is it's such a close match to that color already that the napkin was. So I want it to stand out a bit, and I'm going to have to do this very, very carefully. With just tender love and care. Why am I putting you over there? I'm right-handed. So I'm going to do it light as a feather, and if I have to go over it many, many, many times, that's what I will do. That looks cute. All right, now to glue it down. It's just so fragile and nervous. I think I'm going to use my aerosol glue. I really do. So I'm going to pause the camera for a second because I'm going to have to shake up the can, and you have to shake it for a minute. So give me a second and I'm going to pause you. I'm back. Because it was, I sprayed it, it was wet. I wanted it to be permanent, so I had to plop it down within 15 seconds. I didn't get time to turn the camera back on. But it's all glued down now, safe and sound. I had to hold my breath and hope that I got it even. And I'm going to do the same for this one over on this side. I'm going to put the Clear Type Press London and Glasgow on this side. So let's do this again. I think I've got about 5 more minutes till my alarm goes off again. All right, I'm going to do it again. Give me a second. I'm going to pause for a second. And we're done. So I put that one on this side so that there's journaling room. And this one on this side, I still feel, I don't know, some ribbon or something. You can see a little bit of, I'm gonna have to add a bit of glue there, the glue stick. I missed an area with the glue stick. That's easily remedied. Now, where did my little castle go? I had a castle. Oh, there you are. Now, I used my round circle punch, but it was just a smidge too big, and I don't like this little edge. So I'm just taking that off. And then, of course, to quote Wishes and Weeds, distress ink will cover a multitude of sins. So I'll ink around the edges there. And I'm not, oh, there goes my 30-minute alarm there. Hold on. All right, I'm coming. There we go. All right. And I think I'm going to put you up here. And that leaves lots of journaling space. Now I'm just going to use my good old art glitter for the whole thing, because this is tougher paper and it won't show through. I want that tiny little bit of corner showing. I think that looks charming. I like when these two are overlapping and that little corner is showing. That makes me happy. Oh, that looks pretty. I like that. That's a nice side. Now I've got to decide. I'm going to use my little tip here. Now I've got to decide there we go. If this is just done the way it is, because that's pretty. Sometimes I like to leave things be. Maybe, neat covered illustrations. Yeah. Yep. Oh, wait. Let me see how much time I've got. 28. I've got 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes. All right, I'm just going to go ahead. Now, I'm going to have to be careful with this because it's not going to like me using a knife on it. It's going to want a glass cutting board underneath it, and too bad. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to go lightly. Excellent. Okay, that gamble paid off. Now I'm going to use this. Come on, be good. Good. Oh, don't crack, don't crack. Don't crack. Good. And I hate that I can't see through this. Beautiful. Gathered twigs. I was going to say burnt twigs, but gathered twigs. Now you're probably wondering, Catherine, why is that side straight and you tore the other side? Ah, there's method to my madness. Now this is kind of smaller. There's lots of print on it, so I'm not so worried about the glue being meticulous. And I'm going to gamble again. Oh boy, hold your breath, everyone. Wish me luck. I'm going to be gentle. Come on, behave, be good. And I'm even going to use a little of this on the corners. And I'm going to mush it to smooth it out. You gotta work faster, that line will want to stay. Okay, oh, good. Let me stand up. I want that up there. I wanted to marry up the two edges. Yeah, I like that. Let's get that glue off. Oh, how am I for time? 32 minutes. Oh, boy, I feel like when Kramer was trying to see how long that gas tank would last on the for sale car. All right, I like that, but guess what I think it needs? I think it needs the edge. At least for this side. I don't know if I'll do the other side, but this side, yeah. Definitely. Love that. Okay. I don't mind being heavy-handed with the ink for this one because I feel like it's medieval times. That looks nice, and lots of journaling space on that one. Very good. That will look pretty. I can put that into a pocket and that'll look pretty. Very nice. All right, I'm done. My timer went off and I even pushed my luck. I'm at 33 minutes. So thanks for visiting and we will see you again next time. Bye.